Hello and welcome to today's presentation on the Moynihan Report, presented by the National Abolition Hall of Fame and Museum, whose mission is to honor anti-slavery abolitionists, their work to end slavery and the legacy of that struggle, and strives to complete the second and ongoing abolition, the moral conviction to end racism. The Moynihan Report, officially titled The Black Family, The Case for National Action, was a 1965 report commissioned by the United States Department of Labor and authored by Daniel Patrick Moynihan, a sociologist and policy analyst who would later become a senator. The report was intended to examine the state of the Black American family and provide recommendations for policy interventions to address what Moynihan saw as a crisis in the Black community. The report was controversial at the time of its publication and remains a subject of debate and discussion to this day, as it continues to be seen as a significant document in the history of American social policy. Moynihan's central argument in the report was that the Black American family was in crisis, and that this crisis was driven by a range of social and economic factors. Specifically, he argued that the legacy of slavery and Jim Crow segregation had left Black families with a range of social and economic disadvantages, including lower levels of education, higher rates of unemployment, and limited access to housing and other resources. These factors, he argued, had contributed to a breakdown in the traditional family structure among Black Americans, with high rates of single parenthood, absent fathers, and other family dysfunctions. In discussing why he believed this was the case, he writes, quote, "There are two reasons. First, the racist virus in the American bloodstream still afflicts us. Blacks will encounter serious personal prejudice for at least another generation. Second, 3 centuries of sometimes unimaginable mistreatment have taken their toll on the Black people. The harsh fact is that as a group, at the present times, in terms of ability to win out in the competitions of American life, they are not equal to most of those groups with which they will be competing." And, quote, "Indices of dollars of income, standards of living, and years of education deceive. The gap between the Blacks and most other groups in American society is widening. The fundamental problem, in which this is most clearly the case, is that of family structure." Moynihan's report was controversial for a number of reasons. Critics argued that he was blaming the victims of systemic racism and poverty for their own problems, rather than focusing on the structural factors that had contributed to their situation. Many also saw the report as a racist document, as it seemed to suggest that Black people were inherently less capable of maintaining stable families and that their cultural norms were inferior to those of white Americans. However, despite these criticisms, the Moynihan Report had a significant impact on American social policy. It helped to shape the debate around poverty and inequality in the United States, and it was seen as a call to action for policymakers to address the social and economic factors that were contributing to what Moynihan called the breakdown of the Black family. In the years following the report's publication, a range of policy initiatives were introduced to address the issues that Moynihan highlighted in his document, including programs to improve access to education, employment, and affordable housing for Black Americans, as well as efforts to strengthen family through counseling, support services, and other interventions. The Moynihan Report also helped to spur a broader national conversation about race and inequality in America. It was published at a time of significant social and political upheaval, as the civil rights movement was gaining momentum and the country was grappling with deep-seated issues of racial injustice. Consider that the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which prohibited discrimination on the basis of race, color, religion, sex, or national origin, had just been passed. Therefore, it was published in a moment in which many people were looking at systemic issues and how they were inherently harming minority communities. The report added fuel to this fire, as it highlighted the extent to which race and poverty were intertwined and pointed to the urgent need for action to address these issues. Despite the controversy surrounding the Moynihan Report, it helped to set the stage for a range of policies and initiatives that aim to address the root causes of poverty and inequality in America, and it helped to focus attention on the urgent need to address these issues in a more comprehensive and proactive way, such as through actual policies. While the report's legacy rightly remains contested, it continues to be seen as a significant document in the history of American social policy, and it inspires debate and discussion about the ongoing challenges of poverty, inequality, and racial justice in the United States. Thank you for attending today's presentation. Please help us by completing a brief survey at the link on your screen and also in the video description. Your feedback will help NAHOF receive funding and help plan future projects. Additionally, please contact NAHOF with any questions or comments, or if you're interested in learning more about the organization. Don't forget to follow us on social media, and we hope to see you at our next presentation. Thank you.